another class on the lower back. For this one, we will be more on the ground. It will be more static, and we will explore it in a different way than the other class that is called lower back flow. You might need 2 blocks, so have 2 cushions or 2 books if you don't have blocks at home, and you will need a belt. So we will start by moving the spine, unwinding the spine from front to back, using the breath all the time to move. You will inhale going into the front, exhale to the back, inhaling to the front, exhaling to the back. And exhale. So, mostly lower back pain can happen when we stay too much sitting, when we have too much stress. It's a lot of, has to do with postures. So unwinding lower back pain, tension, has a lot to do with how we move and how we can unwind and change these critical postures. One more. We come back. You will extend the right leg. Keep the left leg bent. Bent in a way that you could create a square here. So the shin is parallel to the thigh. The left shin is parallel to the right thigh. You put your both hands in the front and start to move in one direction. So here your 2 feet and your 2 legs are creating the stability. Your 2 sit bones too. Try to make sure that the sit bones are anchoring the floor. And on top of it, you will create the movement. So you stabilize and other direction in order to be more free in the lower back, in the hips. So while you move, observe also your tendencies. Because we have tendencies that we are not aware of. So put your attention onto creating space. Releasing. And then you put your right hand onto your left foot, and with your left hand you stabilize to the opposite side. And slowly, with a back straight, you will use the anchoring of the sit bones to lengthen the spine all the way to the crown of the head. And breathe. Observe where the tension and these tension points, where they are. And with your attention on it, you move you stretch gently. Actually, the last part of the stretch is really the breathing. And you come back up. We'll bend the right knee. We extend the left leg. So again, here both the shin and the thigh are parallel. If I put my arm here, I have a square. So my leg is bent in 90 degrees, and my foot is aligned with my pubis. Put my hands in the front, and I start to move in one direction. And here we can immediately observe that we are not symmetrical. One side is easier than the other. I adapt, I adjust. I keep my two legs anchoring myself into the earth in order to move more freely into the hips and the lower back. And the other direction. Relaxing the shoulders, the neck. And I come back to center with both my hands in the front. And here I use my anchoring to the earth to lengthen the spine forward. And it's like I want to put my chin onto my toes. Just observe where you go, where the sensations are, without going into your limit. And try to stay, to back up a little bit to your extreme. So you have this little space that you will use with the breath. And you will extend and expand yourself with your breath. So good. And I come back up. And I'm going to come into all four position. Pointing my feet. I will move my hips in one direction, creating something that feels good. And that's very important when we work like this tension. It's not about creating another tension. It's really how can I create something that feels good. And here I can tell that it feels good for me. Inhaling, arching the back, putting the hips way back, exhaling, rounding. Inhaling, back, exhaling, rounding. And I go to the other direction. Inhaling back, exhaling round. Inhaling back, exhaling round. Creating something different. And of course, it cannot happen like I push on a button and then up, I don't feel anything. These kind of practices, they are really practice that you do in a row, or you do often, and you observe what's going on with the body, how it reacts, responds. Come back into all four, and I'm going to take my right foot forward. So here, if you need, you take your blocks, especially if you feel a lot of tension, don't stay in the tension. Take the blocks underneath your hands. Point your back foot. Use the back of your foot to push the earth to extend. So the blocks, you can put them a little bit higher if it's needed. And here I'm observing what I can let go into my left hip flexors. I'm going to push into both my feet, both my legs, and put my both hands into my front knee. And send my tailbone towards the earth. Like I want the tailbone to go and anchor into the earth. And so I don't squeeze my butt. I don't go into my lower back. I just try to extend. And so while my tailbone is extending to the earth, I'm extending my spine up and releasing my abdomen from my thigh. Observe that and breathe. Wow. And I release. I'm changing the knees. So first, I stay a little bit low. And I'm going to push into both my feet, both my legs, to put my hands onto the knee. And I extend and try to extend the spine by anchoring the tailbone down. You will immediately feel, sometimes it goes even into your abdomen. Here, it's in the right side of your abdomen. So the psoas. And is releasing. And you use the last bit of extension with your breath, with the inhalation. And I release. I'm going to put the blocks to the front and take the belt with me. And I lie onto my back. On the back, I put my feet mat width apart. I'm going to relax my arms to the side, like in a cactus pose. And I'm going to send my knees to the right, going back up, and send my knees to the left. Each time I inhale, I go up. Each time I exhale, I go down. Creating a fluid movement. And that's important because we want to recreate fluidity into the lower back. So for that, we need to create fluidity with all the things that are around. The hips, the sacroiliacs, the legs. Now what we will add is when I send my knees to the right, I'm going to send a little bit more my left knee towards the floor. So it's like I want to lift my left hip. I come back up, send my knees to the left and my right knee more to the floor. And I continue. So each time I want to lift a little bit more the hip, the opposite hip. Most of the time is when we stay long into a car, onto a chair, onto a couch, things get stuck. So moving, walking, practicing on the mat. One more right, one more left is recreating movement. And I come back to the center. I'm going to take my feet hip-width apart, my arms alongside the body, and my right ankle onto my left knee. From here, I will grab either the back of my left knee or the front of my shin. And I will gently pull the leg to my chest. And I'm saying gently. Again, if we want things to get smoother, I don't believe that it is by going into aggressivity. So if you go aggressive into a stretch, your body will respond in an aggressive way or protecting way, and then it will contract. So very gently, actually, after a few seconds, you feel that the body let go. And so you can go maybe a little bit further, like 0.5 millimeter. Very gentle. No need to go harsh. If your right knee is getting closer to your right shoulder, just use your elbow, your right elbow, and gently push the knee towards the right, towards the front. You will feel it. And then I will put my left foot on the floor, keep my right foot where it is, and send the left knee to the floor. So my foot will arrive on the floor too, and I'm going to start to feel that it's stretching, it's lengthening all the right side of my hip, my pelvis, all the way to the back. I can add one thing. With my two hands, I will push the thigh towards the front. And if your psoas is very tight, usually when you do this and you breathe, your intestine will start to make some noise. Like, hello, I'm happy that you release me a little bit. And we come back up. This time I grab the belt. And I'm going to put the belt on the foot and extend my left leg to the floor. So first, don't pull the leg towards you. Just pull both sides of the strap towards the floor. And with each exhalation, you will send both legs away from each other. Here you feel the stretch behind the leg, behind the right leg. You allow it to happen. And you will grab the belt with the right hand. The left hand will stay onto the left thigh, and you will pull the leg towards the right and the floor. You will let the leg go a little bit to the floor. And you keep pushing with each exhalation. You push the right heel and the left heel into an extension, into the external part. Each time I inhale, I gather And when I exhale, I push both of my heels away. And I come back up. I grab this time only with my left hand. My right thumb is going into the crease of the right hip. I push the right hip forward because the hip wants to move up. And I encourage my left leg to go to the side. And here at one point you will start to feel that it pulls the back of the leg and the side of your leg. Keep using the exhalation to encourage both legs to move away. And I come back up. I grab with both hands. This time I can pull the leg towards me. And I release. Put the strap on the side. And I observe the difference between the right side and the left side. And actually I can feel it goes all the way to my lower back. And I bend both knees. I put the left ankle into my right knee. And I grab again either under the knee or in front of the shin. I make sure that my left knee is not coming towards my left shoulder, that my left foot is flexed. And I'm super present. Please, when you are home and you do this kind of work, it's a real meditative work. So even if you do it with people around, which might happen, be present in what you're doing. Otherwise, you might be too aggressive or onto the pulling of the leg. Or just doing nothing because you're occupied to tell your child what to do. So be careful when you're home. I'm going to put my right foot to the floor and send the left foot and the right knee to the floor. Oof. And observing that we are not symmetrical again. I'm going to use my both hands to push from the beginning of the thigh bone. It's like I want to push my thigh bone forward. And just observe where it goes. For me, it goes, I can feel it into my abdomen. And since the psoas has an insertion into the lower back, I can feel it. I can feel where all the way back. So when we release the psoas, we also release the lower back. And I come back up. I grab the belt. Put the belt on the foot. I extend the right leg to the floor. First I settle my hips. Settle my legs, and they are both in 90 degrees angle. And with each exhalation, I send my 2 feet, my 2 legs away from each other. Observe also the rest of the body. You don't need to put a lot of effort into your arms, into your jaw, into your shoulders to be able to have an effective stretch. From here, I grab only with my left hand, put my right hand into my right hip, and I allow my left leg to go towards the floor and towards my ear. And I keep using the exhalation to contract my thighs and push my heels away. Make sure your lower back is relaxed. And we come back up. Grab with my right hand. I put my left thumb into the crease of my hip. And I slowly go to the side and observe, where should I go to feel the stretch, to feel the tension. As long as you breathe, you can breathe, you know that you are in the right spot. If you feel the tension and you can still breathe, you are in the right spot. If you cannot breathe because it's too tense, then you need to back up a little bit. And I come back up. I grab with my both hands and pulling the leg towards me. And I release. I'm going to take my knees to the chest and go into a happy baby position. If your arms and your hands don't go to the heels, you grab the ankles or the like good. And go from side to side. I'm going to cross my legs, grab my feet on the outside and push my feet away from each other. So if it's not happening, you can also grab just the shins, okay? It's also good. You will feel it anyway. From here, I have my right knee on top of the left, and I feel the stretch happening into my right butt. And I change. So hands onto the feet or hands onto the shins, okay? And you try to separate the shins or separate the feet from each other. Immediately you will come to the right sensation. It's very rare that you don't feel it. So if you don't feel anything, really adjust. From here, both knees to the chest, extending my left leg and going into a twist. And my abdomen is releasing again. Hear it. I don't know if you can hear it too. Coming back up. And I change. Twist with my left leg to the right. And I come back up, both knees to the chest. I will roll on the side and sit in a comfortable position just to finish my class. Close your eyes. And go to this new subtle energy that you created, a different kind of energy that when I was sitting actually at the beginning, feel like there is wind into my lower back. So encourage that. Stay with it. If you have time, you can lie on your back for 1 minute or 2 minutes. Please do. I'm going to close the class. Wishing you an amazing day. Namaste.